All right, our online businesses in Nigeria are properly regulated. Our next guest thinks more needs to be done. Here's a post from Solomon Buchi, who's a writer, social crusader, and influencer. Take a look at a post that he put up there. He says, I can literally start an online business today, registered or unregistered, deliver substandard products. Yeah, that moo is a colloquial term. Use celebrities who don't know any better to endorse the brand, deceive people, and in a few months I'm almost a billionaire. The government organizers won't do anything, even with the complaints against brands. It's easy to make money in Nigeria, and it's not a good thing. It's because of how corrupt our system and people are. You'll see the CEO of a dubious brand driving a luxury car with the sweat of others. Then they turn motivational speakers. Can't try this in other countries, in saner countries. Many popular brands in the beauty industry, for instance, in Nigeria, can't make it past 3 months in the UK or the US. Well, strong words. We're joined now by the writer of that post, Solomon Buchi, who's a writer, social crusader, and an influencer. Solomon, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. So you don't think enough is being done to regulate online businesses in Nigeria?
Good afternoon, Rotus. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Yes, I actually don't think so. I think that there is a lot of liberty at the expense of people's lives and like buying valuable goods and getting valuable services for what they actually pay for. I think that there is too much liberty, and it's actually really affecting the consumers because they are actually the end point of the whole cycle, from the influencers or from the brands to the influencers to the consumers. So basically, the post that I made was premised on the fact that a lot of brands or many brands in Nigeria could just start, and all they just have to do is start. They get celebrities to actually influence for them, even when they know that their products and services are actually, subpar. And these celebrities and influencers actually jump on these things and just endorse them without actually considering the human interest angle to how it affects their audience.
All right, well said. So, as far as the regulation of the online businesses are concerned, is one reason perhaps because there are too many of them and the regulators aren't able to keep up?
Okay, so let me speak specifically in the light of the industry that I was talking about when I made the post and a couple other posts that I actually made. I was talking specifically about the beauty industry. Yeah.
Okay.
And in the beauty industry, you have, the people who make the wigs, you have the skincare people. And I think that I don't want to say that they are too much, because I mean the market is large enough. But I would say that there are actually so many fakes. And it gets me to wonder the process of actually approving and testing these products before they are actually rolled out for public consumption. For example, there are a lot of complaints about some popular brands, a lot of complaints like clinically we know that the things that they use to make their skincare products are actually really not good to the skin, but just because people are endorsing these things, just because influencers who are actually liked and loved, because at the end of the day, influencing is about using your power to influence the purchasing ability or the purchasing willingness of your audience. Yeah. And they do this and they lead these people to buying these things that end up, harming them. So I'm talking about it in that context. I feel like in the beauty industry, there has to be some regularization that should actually even come from before the products are actually being launched. And it is quite disturbing that some of these products actually do have NAFDAC registration. But with the complaints that you see from people, a lot of people, obviously, I mean, there is no brand or business that doesn't have some loopholes here and there. But when it is actually proven over time that it is actually toxic to people, it becomes a problem, and it begs a question to the whole regularization before the execution of the product and the service.
Okay, so it looks like we're dealing with a twin-headed dragon here. On the one hand, you're talking about the regulators not testing. Funny enough, we had the head of NAFDAC on our morning show. I think it was about a month ago or so. So NAFDAC not doing enough, regulators not doing enough to test these beauty products before they come to market. That's one. On the other hand, you're talking about influencers. The influencers, are they doing this willingly, or are they ignorant as well of the do influencers, essentially social media influencers, do they need to have better product knowledge of what it is that they're pushing forward for the beauty industry, as you pointed out?
Yeah, I think that they actually need to know. I think that they actually need to know, why would you influence for a butt enlargement brand when you actually had a BBL, and you actually know very well that you went under the knife, and then you come on Instagram to lie to people and say that you actually used these products just because they paid you probably millions of naira, and you have to lie just because of that. And then you get people buy these products, and over time they don't get the results that you claimed that you got. That is actually deceit, and when we think about, influencer marketing, and that, I think there should be a penalty for that. There should be a penalty for misinformation, for lying, for manipulating people into buying stuff. I think that it also falls on the influencer to do their due diligence. So if a brand actually brings stuff to you, I think that it is important that you check their credibility, you ask questions, you do your background check before you actually give it out to people. I understand that we all want to make money, but then we also have to preserve humanity. How do I actually recommend what I do not use to someone else, and I say, oh, I actually do use it, and I don't even use them? I mean, some of these influencers don't use the things that they influence. And that is why you see them actually influence for 5-6 brands of the very same category. You see things like, they try to influence for like bleaching creams, but now they call it glowing cream, half cast and all of that stuff cream. And they would actually influence for 5 brands in a short period of time. And that's very disturbing. So you get to see that they really don't care about people. They care about how much they are making. And I feel that there is actually a need to raise sensitization to people and to influencers to actually be ethical and professional and humane in the way that they approach their influencer marketing.
All right, makes sense. I really wish we had more time to get into this, because you're bringing up a lot of topics here. Now, the part about influencers promoting multiple brands in a short period of time, 5 or 6 brands, is your issue that those 5 or 6 brands, or is it because influencers are freelance workers, right? So one influencer can do a food brand, they can do something in AI or tech, or are you still mainly focused on the beauty industry? Is your issue that an influencer cannot promote 5 different beauty brands in a short period of time? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, first of all, I'm actually focused on the beauty industry. Okay. And one of the reasons I'm really focused on the beauty industry is because right now we live in a very visual world. So we see a lot of things, and the media is constantly, and there are narratives constantly changing about how we should look, and people, and sadly some impressionable people, are actually buying into those narratives, buying the cream that will make them look a certain way, buying the products that will make their head, their bum, and everything look a certain way, if that makes sense. And that is a lucrative sector and industry where a lot of, I would say, duplicitous vendors actually go into to basically just take advantage of people. And now my problem is not influencing for multiple brands. Now the problem is, you come today and you tell me that this product or this brand is the best brand for you to become fairer, or whatever they call it, whatever fancy name they actually attribute to it right now. And then the next two days or the next week, you say this brand B is the best brand. And then the next 3 weeks, you come brand C is the best brand. So when you say 5 brands are the best brand at once, you leave your audience, or you leave the consumers to to just serious confusion, like which one exactly are you onto? So it's not about that you cannot promote or influence for different brands. That's not the problem. You can actually influence for them, but it's just the pattern of continually influencing for problematic brands with just the same products but just different labels and different names in a
Okay,
very short period of time. I
gotcha.
think that that's disturbing.
All right, and is your focus on the beauty industry, is that a health concern? Is it because of the health side effects that you are particularly focused on the beauty industry?
Yeah, it is. It is actually a health concern, and it is also a general societal concern. I actually did make. I made a trade that actually quite went viral, and I just asked people to call out vendors, that beauty vendors who I even said just vendors, but most of them, were actually beauty vendors, wigs, and skin care people, and a lot of people that were actually called out, a lot of brands that were actually called out were actually beauty, about wigs. They actually sell substandard wigs to people. They wouldn't even deliver. I mean, these are like popular brands, and even some went as far as even like trying to arrest their customers just because they were actually asking for a refund, which is actually lawful, by the way. But about the health concerns, yes, that's actually really very important to me, and I think it should be important to everyone. This is another story for another day. But then the skincare has been so awash with a lot of organic and stuff, and that's beautiful. But then when we look deep into this stuff, I mean, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not a scientist, but then due to my enthusiasm, I have been able to see one or two and to study and make my research about this. And you see them actually mix like steroids and just really problematic stuff, toxic chemicals that they mix and they sell to people, and people are buying, and people are getting bleached, and and they call it glow and all of that, and they're always doing 50% discount every week, every month. And that's quite problematic. Like, how would a brand be always on constant discounts for months? Like, how do you now generate your income?
Right.
And then they sell these to people. So basically what I'm seeing in the future, sadly, is an uprise in skin cancer, in different kinds of
Gotcha.
cancer. And I hope people understand
Excellent.
that their skin is actually the most sensitive organ that they have, and they have to protect it.
Hey, we hear you loud and clear. If regulators, influencers, lots needs to be done. Solomon Buchi, writer, influencer, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.